right, welcome back. Today is the first ever episode of Let's Chat and Draw Together live on the intranet. Today's first guest is Philip J. Bond, artist extraordinaire from such
Hi.
amazing books as Geezer, Deadline Magazine, and tons of other stuff you've read under the
Invisible.
Black Crown label. What up, Rick?
Yeah.
And tons of other stuff. So we're here. We're
The,
gonna watch. We're gonna ask some questions, and we're gonna learn. So what's up?
yeah. Black Clown was definitely a different.
That's what I said. That's not what I meant.
Hi. Thanks everybody for coming out, or wherever you are. We're sort of. I'm pottering along now. I'm working right now on Giza, which is the Kickstarter book. Oh dear, that's wrong. Um, yeah, which is the Kickstarter book we've been working on, which is
Yeah.
about it's about a British band in the 90s. They're a Britpop band called Giza, and let's see, this up here is Jess, the drummer, and this is Martin and Francis, who are the singer and guitarist from the band. And then somewhere there's the forgotten bassist. This is the bassist looking out the van here. So I'm going to try and sort of finish up that van as well. Finishing up the van is awkward because nobody knows what the driver looks like yet. This is going to be the first time I've drawn the driver.
Nice. So how do you think of these character designs, or where do you draw that from?
Well, I mean, the look of the characters is like very much sort of it's dictated by the period. They're these like sort of indie kids. They're going through sort of various stages of sort of the British music scene, so they sort of change a little over the years. So this is let's see, when is this? This is 94 or 90. Yeah, I think this is 94. They're just going on. They've been sent out on a tour of the United States to try and break America, and they're having all the troubles that you would expect a band to face on tour, in places they've never known before, and places that don't know them at all.
Right.
So that it's a mixture between it's all fun and frustration for them. And what was the question?
We were just talking about how you do character designs.
Yeah. So yeah. I was saying like the characters change over the years in the book. Like there's something sort of. So this is like, yeah, this is sneak peek. This is like sort of the book as it is at the moment. Yeah, back here, I think this is the first actual finished page that we've got. So on this page, this is I think this is 1990, very beginning of 93, I think. And so some of them have like little different hair. Martin's hair is a little longer. He's like, once he gets back from the US, he's going to have a bit more of a severe cut rather than this like foppish fringe that he has there. And yeah, and the bassist down here, who we didn't see on the other page. Oh, he was in the van, wasn't he? So the bassist is down here. There he is. He's like a little skinnier here, although not completely skinny. He's a little bit skinnier, and he's got more hair. Later on in the 90s, he will chunk up a bit and lose quite a bit of hair. So yeah, so the look of the characters changes, and yeah.
And much like the first book, this one
Um,
will kind of move back and forth through time a little bit, kind of jump around.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We go from, well, really, the first page of each issue is set in the present day, and then we go back to wherever we need to be. So we've been like we cover everything from sort of like the very late 80s up to probably like the end of the 90s, I guess. So yeah, that's
Now,
what
do you,
is
as someone
about.
who uh, kind of grew up in the UK and had their years there and then moved to the US, are you drawing on any situations or experiences you had in that transition for this book, or?
Yeah, yeah. You know, like there's the scenes when they first arrive in New York. I mean, you just came back from New York, didn't you?
I did,
You
yeah.
um, yeah, they so they go and they check out like CBGBs and stuff like that, and so they're sort of like kind of doing a touristy thing, but trying to do it in a cool way.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I mean that draws a lot on my experiences when I moved. I moved to New York in the year 2000, so it's like right after the events that go on here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad CBGB now is a fancy clothing store.
Is it?
Yeah, it's so sad.
I know
So
even at the time, well, the time I was there, it was, I guess it had just closed down. Do you know when it closed down?
I thought it closed down in the mid 2000s because I thought
Yeah,
I lived there in like 2003 and 4, and I think it was still going.
yeah, but not as the legend
Nah, nah.
was.
Closed down
Um,
October 15th, 2006.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah,
So they visit it here. I might move on to that page in a couple of minutes.
nice.
Um, actually, I'm working like with really loose pencils right now. This is, I guess I thought I knew what I was doing. This one. So we'll see how it goes. I don't even know what he's got in his hand here. It's like a can of, maybe it's a can of beer. I need to consult my script for a second.
So,
Because
for
that's a
anyone
whole
who's
lot of
joining
window.
us, questions are open if you got any.
Hmm.
Free to ask.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah,
Uh
Brandon.
oh. That's
I was wondering, since you're doing this digitally,
yeah.
Philip, how many times do you go over your work? Like I don't draw digitally, but one of my buddies does. Well, a bunch of them do. He kind of will do like pencils, like what you have, and then he'll do like rough inks, and then he'll go back over and do final inks.
Oh yeah. Well, that's an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that because I know like yeah I know what you mean. Like sometimes when I'm um even when I don't know sometimes when I'm penciling I'm like sort of that should have been inks. Why didn't I
Oh,
just ink that? Um
because I think it
yeah
helps him to kind of just see what it's gonna be, and then he
yeah
decides. I don't really know. I'm more of a writer than I am a penciler inker.
uh-huh. I guess
So
I'm yeah I think I'd be more of a sort of erasing stuff. I'm like rather than rather than sort of like ink it and then go like, no, that was my pencils. I don't know.
mhm,
Hmm, I don't know. Actually,
yeah,
it's I'm like it's so sort of like sort of fluid and sort of make it up as you go along and
right.
like it sounds like the guy you're talking about sort of feels the same about it. It's like unless I think sort of like having to show it to an editor or a colorist or the writer again. I'm like the way I'm doing this now. I'm just like sort of the whole thing is kind of loosely penciled. In fact, no, there's some pages that are still missing almost completely, and then other pages that are finished, but not early pages. You know, I sort of started in the middle and working out. So yeah, it's all at different kinds of stages, and it's all just sort of playing it by ear. It's like if I feel there's like enough pencils there to start inking, I'll just start inking. You know, no, because nobody has to approve it.
Right.
You know, at least this book, nobody has to approve it.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, everybody's different. Everybody's got their own style. I mean, I appreciate all of it, but like,
Yeah,
it's just curious. It's curious to kind of check out everybody's process from my
yeah,
point of view, because I don't
yeah,
even know.
yeah, I don't think you'd find many people who are sort of like quite as sort of, you know, making it up as you go along as this. Because yeah, I really should have re-penciled this, at least some bits of it. Yeah, like I said, I thought I knew what I was doing.
Right.
That's one of those tall cans. Do they have those like tall cans in those days? Yes.
Yeah, like when it's
That is
just
this.
you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah. Until you get to the point when you've done all the fun bits. Go back and draw all the backgrounds.
My problem was always just having to redraw everything, like do thumbnails and then pencil it
Yeah.
in bigger. Like I don't have the patience for it, like personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Well, if you don't have to, you don't have to, and that's cool. It seems like a lot of the time, you know, I've worked for Marvel and DC like little bits, and a lot of the time I'm sort of like refining pencils just so you can show them, when really, you know, why don't I just want to ink it?
Yeah.
I don't need to refine it. I don't need to show them anything. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna get
You
coffee
see
now.
yourself ever
To
heading
spruce
back
them.
trying to work for Marvel and DC again, or do you feel like you're on your own now and
I think I unless they want to take something like this that they don't have to approve every bit of.
Yeah, I didn't know that you did like that Deadpool story that
Oh
you showed
God.
it to me, and that was like, whoa.
Yeah, I've done a few like little bits of Deadpool. Like probably the biggest thing was a maybe it was a 3-issue run on something. That was when they made Deadpool into like all different kinds of things. He was a floating head, and he was a dog. I did the dog issues. I think there were like, I don't know. No, maybe it was just like one issue of Dog Pool.
I guess,
I hate drawing dogs.
oh man, why'd you get that? Or how did you end up with that then? It's just like,
It like and sort of entirely through the editor, really. And who wrote that one? I can't remember who wrote that one now.
was it like Brian Posehn at that time or something? Or
No, this was this would be like 2012 maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember who was editing it, but it was like, yeah, it was just sort of like, you know, you get yourself a reputation for doing odd things, and Marvel's been generally pretty good like that. You know, they did all those like special like one-off issues with like people like, I don't know, like really sort of like, off the wall cartoonists. They don't mind like using Marfood and people like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though it's like sort of like very much not the regular Marvel kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like other than like Jim and Ed recently, I don't feel like they've given a lot of like indie artists the keys to a character.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, with those guys, yeah, definitely. But they, I don't know. I'm trying to think now. There was some stuff of like
It was
3 or 4 years
Victor
ago.
Gischler was the writer. I looked it up right now.
Yes.
You're credited as as like him and you are the creators though. So hopefully, if they ever put him in a movie, they throw you some coins.
That I did not know that.
The creator of Dogpool.
Yeah, this is Victor Gischler, Philip Bond.
Nice.
Wow. Oh, right.
Boom.
Okay.
And it's got a picture of your art as the main avatar. And it's on marvel.fandom.com.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Now they want to know me. Now that I'm doing the kayfabes and the drawing.
That's right.
Now they put me in Marvel history.
Dogpool. That's so funny.
I could totally see them putting that in a movie too, especially with like Deadpool and everything.
Yep. That'd be huge.
It would be.
There was another one that I think it must have been a short thing. It must have been like maybe a 10-page story where he took on the man. He was like Captain Canada. He was like Deadpool became the Canadian Captain America for a bit and had his whole super team, Canadian Avengers. Which so if they come back, that'd be a money spinner for me. There was some that was Rob Rob Williams wrote that one. Yeah, so if they ever do like the Canadian Avengers, I didn't come up with the names, but I did do Puckman, who was like a hockey player with the puck, Puckman, and his girlfriend, Miss Puckman. And but my favorite was the Beaver, who was just this girl who ate wood. Not in that way.
Oh shit.
Like a beaver, hence the name.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I mean, that could be taken in.
Wow.
Come on.
So that one I'm proud of. I'd be quite happy to be known as the creator of the beaver.
So I think if we get to the Canadian Beaver heroes, then we know that Marvel has hit the bottom of the barrel here with
or they figured out which ones were the best.
The best, yeah.
They finally figured it out, yeah.
Well, let's work a little bit of our way through some more of your career here, Philip, while we're
Okay.
let's go.
Actually, speaking of that, there was someone on the one of the kayfabe groups on Facebook had some old issues of Atomtan.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Showing off, yeah.
That was cool.
That's going back.
How far back is that?
I think it was 87. I'm going to say 87 was the first one we did. We did 2 issues. One of them, I think we were like still in college, and I say we, I'm talking like Jamie Hewlett and Alan Martin. Where are they? Or at least where's Jamie now?
heard about him. It says on the ever trustworthy website Wikipedia, you're quoted as saying, "I was sat on the floor of Jamie Hewlett and Alan Martin's single room flat, pacing up the first issue of our self-published Atomtan magazine."
Well, they have most of that right. It wasn't a single room. they actually, I don't know how, but I actually, yeah, Jamie sort of like has a little bit of family money, I think he had at the time. So they had more than a single bedroom flat. I remember they had quite a nice kitchen, but it was pasted up on the bedroom floor. Yeah.
And so that was like, was that Tank Girl as well? And then there was some character.
Tank Girl was in it, but she wasn't really quite called Tank Girl yet.
Yeah.
So and there was it was just like a one-page illustration. It's probably in that among the pictures that were posted recently.
I have a reprint of it too. I was just looking to see if that's still available on the Tank Girl website. Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
There it is. Yeah, the Tank Girl, this Tank Girl shop on Big Cartel Shop. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, and that's all run by Alan Martin, who wrote all the Tank Girl stories. So, it's all official.
Doesn't look like that is on there anymore.
Yeah, he did a couple of reprints of Atomtan. One of them was like a real small scale.
So what else do you remember like about that time period when you guys were kind of young and outlaw comic makers?
Oh yeah, we were. Yeah, I mean that was that was how we got into comics. That was like, we made those first 2 issues of Atomtan. The first one I think we like Xeroxed, and then the second one we actually we got a bit full of ourselves and went like, yeah, we're going to print this one properly. So we had it was actually printed, and then but we had to sort of like, once we could afford it to be printed, but we couldn't quite afford to have it trimmed and put together, so we had to do that ourselves. We had them printed professionally, and then we had to cut all these prints to size and staple them ourselves.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. It saves money to do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of times where like you did inking work for Tank Girl that you're not like credited or something. Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No. That's just what we did. We sort of,
it was just. You guys were like there working hard, and just like pages were getting inked, pages were getting done.
Yeah, we were all like living sort of like either actually together or at least close enough that we just sort of like go over to someone's house and just sit around a table just drawing. So like things, like exactly the way you would want it to be. Things getting sort of like passed off between me and Jamie and Alan. We were just like sort of just pasting stuff up, and Jamie always liked the way I did his lettering, so I ended up doing quite a bit of his lettering.
Okay, Eli, my turn.
Go ahead, Rick.
I have a million questions, Philip. I'll try not to like.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, like Yeah. No, not at all. Like at LA Comic Con, I didn't want to like, make either of us uncomfortable. But man, I fucking love your work,
Oh,
first of
well,
all.
thank you.
The first book I read of yours was, or with your art in it, was Kill Your Boyfriend. And I'm really curious, like, how you get from where Eli was asking, like with the tank girl and stuff, how do you get from there to Vertigo? Like, what was that leap like? Or,
I think it's sort of entirely sort of you sort of make fans. I got those Vertigo books because Grant liked my work.
Good taste.
Grant Morrison, Ricky.
Yeah. Yes.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Kidding, he loves.
So yeah, that's like, I guess that's the way. I'm not doing this.
No, I get that. Like I've heard that a few times from people. Like
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
just
you
sees
sort of,
something and it just kind of,
yeah, you make a relationship with people. It was the same with the Deadpool thing. It was, the editor was sort of into my work, probably from Kill Your Boyfriend, and I know like Rob Williams, the writer of one of those books, or the Canada one. He's British, one of the old gang.
How'd you end up coming to American comics? Just from that, basically?
Yeah, really, yeah. Except, what? I mean, I'm lucky I did, but sort of if the same sort of the same like career path was put in front of me again, I don't know if I'd go that way again. It seems like it, American comics was just sort of like the way to go. Right. Just like it was just sort of accepted. It just seemed like that was, you'd do a little bit on 2000 AD and then get picked up and do some American books.
Right.
And that seemed like it was just the way it was done. I don't know. And it seems like to me, having come out of the end of it, I'm happier now than I was at any of those times.
Right.
Creatively happier anyway.
Was Marvel UK like still a thing when you were on the come up, or was that already like?
No, that it was already done.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah, and even then, I was going to say that was mostly reprints, but they did a lot of their own stuff as well, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was we went from that Atomtan fanzine to like directly from that being picked up at 2000 AD to do a couple of things. Oh, here we go. Let's see. A bit of this page now. Yeah, and so getting work at Vertigo through, yeah, like I said, directly through Grant, really. It's just, it's who you know.
That's so cool.
And then sort of having done that, sorry,
no, keep going.
But yeah, having done that, sort of move on to get picked up on at Marvel. It's again, it's like people see your last
Snowballed.
work, and if they liked it, yeah.
Because like I remember when you came on to the third volume of the Invisibles, and it was so exciting because like, I mean, I was already familiar with your work, but it was so different than when Chris Weston was on like right before that, and even
they were lucky to have like such a real wide variety and so many different really cool artists on that. Right. And yeah, it was like high praise to the editors, including Shelley,
of course,
who's maybe listening somewhere. But yeah, it's again, it's Grant. It's
Yeah.
Grant's like he brings his artists with him sort of wherever he goes. You know, like he always works with Frank Whiteley and what's his name, Steve Yowell early
Yeah.
on, and yeah, all Invisibles is like a tour de force of fantastic artists.
Hmm.
That last, was it the last issue or the last couple
The
of
second
issues
to
where it was just like
Yeah.
chopping up like different artists every couple of pages. That was so cool.
Yeah, I love what you bring to the table, man. I can't wait for Geezer. It's gonna be great.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
I'm glad you say that, because like I know it's very different from the sort of like the DC and even Vertigo comics, but it's what I'm enjoying doing. So I hope other people are going to enjoy it as well.
No, absolutely, dude. Completely. Total fan, man.
Thank you
for your time, though. Seriously, that's so cool of you.
Thanks for following me from book to book.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. Oh no. I'll wait till later. I got another question, but someone else ask. Okay. I don't want to like just berate you. Thanks again, Phil.
Hey, I'm here all week.
I mean, you're free to continue unless anyone else has a question right now.
I have a question. I just joined now.
Abu, what's up, man?
Hi.
Hey, fine, superb.
Hi again. You were like I remember you from when we did the podcast a couple of weeks ago, right at the beginning of the Giza campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I am also in the process of doing a comic. Basically, now it's a collaboration with another artist in India. So I'm working with him because I'm quite slow at compositions and, panel work, because I take a lot of time, deciding on a composition, deciding on how to position a character and all that. It sometimes fries my brain. So I want to know, how do you plan everything?
I fry my brain. That's I am not fast at all. I am one of the slowest there is. I'm going quite fast now, but like after I've done like a couple of hours like this, I'm going to bed. I'm like, I don't know. It takes it out
I
of
got
me.
coloring duties. I got coloring duties and layout duties. So so I'll be coloring the entire comic while the other artist will be doing the entire penciling and inking. Yeah.
Oh right. So they're waiting for you as well.
I'm waiting for the pencils and the main pages to come in so that I'll get to coloring. So could you give me like, how do you color your comics basically?
Oh well, now coloring. I don't actually do a lot of coloring, but I guess when my work is colored, I do it myself. But coloring isn't my forte. That's why I like enjoyed just being able to do black and white like this. Yeah, my coloring is I do not have a method. I am like I'm one of these like sort of like throw everything at the page until it looks done, and that can take 10 minutes or it could take 10 days, because I just don't have like a method for coloring. I don't really have a method for inking much either, but at least that I can do fairly quickly.
I see that you use the photo reference for the panel.
Yes.
For inking.
Yes. Is that cheating? Yeah. So under here there is a photo. Let me see if I can find it here under all these.
Because I have also started using this photo reference method, in my comics basically. But that took me a lot of time. So the editor got quite angry.
That's not fair. Yeah, so like here behind, let's see, behind everything else. Ooh, wow,
It
that's
looks good. It
There's
looks good,
so,
like
it
an
does look good like
experiment.
that, yeah. Yeah, that's like everything's. I've made a mess of it now. Don't know what I've done.
Mm.
What the hell did I just do?
You're also
So
using
it's,
screen tone for
yeah,
giving a bit of texture.
yeah. There's a little bit of screen tone there as well. Yeah, I just like I like screen tone. I like that it's like sort of the graphic kind of element there.
I
Yeah.
I don't use Clip Studio for my
Mm-hmm.
work. I use the Autodesk Sketchbook Pro and Medibang, the other type of
Uh-huh.
Clip Studio. Yeah, I
Yeah.
use that software.
Right.
I still don't know how to use the screen tone. I still don't know how to use it.
Yeah, there's actually the screen tone I'm using here is actually should be anyway. I've gone sort of back and forth on some of the pages, but yeah, this is the actual Clip Studio screen tone. Although on some of the pages, I think I used I think I might have brought my own screen tone in instead because it's just a little nicer. But
How do you
maybe
go
not.
about
I might be
making
wrong.
it, Philip?
Just as a I'll make a dot screen in like Illustrator or in Photoshop and just sort of just export it into a yeah. It really
Some people have these other
find it now.
methods where
Can't find
they'll
it.
scan.
Yeah, I actually think this page actually is just it's just a grey, yeah, it's just a grey um, tone with a screen tone effect on it.
Oh, whoa.
Like that. So
I
I'm just
really
like,
love how you ink.
so, hmm? Pardon?
No, I was admiring how you ink. It's very bold and thick.
Yeah, that's that's my style.
It reminds me of the
Yeah.
90s days, in Hit Girl. I was
Yeah.
reading through your work in Hit Girl, and I just fell in love with
Oh boy.
Hit Girl.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, that's like very much in like we're along the same lines, Ulred and I mean, I'm not putting myself up there with Ulrich, but it's that sort of like clean line simplicity, which is not always as easy as we try to make it look. It takes longer to keep things nice and simple sometimes.
So, how long do you take on one page, basically?
Um, Probably, ideally, I think ideally I'll do a page like this in like a couple of days, I guess. The penciling and stuff like that is pretty quick here because obviously some of it is like really super loose. I'm gonna have to go back and I'll go back and repencil that before I ink it. But yeah, generally my penciling is very loose, so that can be done pretty quick, and then I'll like really the inking's going to be a couple of days, really, I guess.
Understood.
When you're working, Philip, usually are you like to get into the zone? Do you play Britpop or do you or do you listen to like your own music or what do you listen to?
I pretty much every day my go-to is the BBC. I like BBC Radio 6 music is like absolutely sort of my jam. They seem to read my mind So that's my go-to music. And if I'm up early enough, working early enough, we'll go to the Steve Lamacq show. Steve Lamacq actually signed some of the greatest Britpop bands when he's longtime music journalist and DJ. So he goes back to that same era as well. So that, and somehow they managed to bridge a gap between they do play a lot of old music, but they play a lot of new music as well that's somehow just super appeals to that same sort of taste. So yeah.
Do you listen to radio drama, BBC radio drama?
Radio drama? No.
Yeah.
Just do the music. I did try a few actually, a while ago, but that was more at night when it was sort of go to sleep kind of thing rather than work.
There's some pretty decent of those BBC dramas, like their Hitchhiker's Guide is really good.
Yeah, the BBC, on the BBC Sounds website, where they have all the different radio stations there, they have a lot of podcasts as well, and a lot of just audio dramas. Yeah, there's some really good stuff there.
I grew up watching.
Go on.
Go ahead, Abu. Sometimes there's connection. All right, we'll come back to him, I guess. All right, looks like we got Kevin in here too. He's working on something insane. Kev, what you working on, man?
Space Knights, man.
Of course.
Always.
Good.
I got a ton of commissions, but I gotta finish this book, so I got to do both.
Right.
Juggle, which is just fun.
Nice. I think everybody.
I don't juggle very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a learning process. It's my first time doing it, so it's going.
Yeah, I kind of need to set up some commissions really, but we also have a book to finish now because yes, we Giza finishes its funding Friday. Everybody, Friday lunchtime. Friday at 12 noon Pacific. That's your last chance to get on with Giza 2.
Just saw that there's a new option to get drawn into the book.
Yes, and I know Shelley tells me that you might have gone for that option.
Oh, she is correct, sir. I'm excited.
I'm gonna see you in the next issue of Geezer.
I'm a sucker for that tier, man. If you put that tier in your Kickstarter, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. That was always going to be a really limited one because I don't want the book to look like people in it. People modeling for it.
But a book it's a pretty good.
5 different Elis in there.
Yeah. I don't want anybody reading it going Eli, what?
I'm gonna have Eli sign it.
Yeah, but this is so cool. It's an honor to be drawn by you, especially, and it's an honor to drawn by any of these people that put that give that option and then get you in there.
That's history. That art is forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so if it depends how many people we get doing the get drawn into the book, but you might even get a speaking role. I shouldn't say that, should I? Because it might not happen. Although, like I said earlier, that van driver hasn't been designed yet.
Oh my god. I did tour manage a band for a couple tours.
I know, yes. I kind of would be the perfect role for you, wouldn't it now? But we'll see.
I could say something like, "Do you guys know any Grateful Dead tunes?"
There are scenes like that, yes.
Oh no.
So,
I imagine like, this British pop band comes into these college scenes in the United States, they're kind of like, any Rusted Root?
that reference in particular, we don't have.
Good.
But there is some of that. I don't remember exactly, but yes, the driver of the van does get pretty pissed off with the van.
Nice.
Did you grow up reading Beano comics and Dandy?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I started reading those around 2007. 2007. I was in like third grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow. But not sort of like from what era though?
The 2000s era. The 2000s era
Right.
of Beano.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, like I mean I can put dates to it like completely, because like at the moment when 2000 AD came out in 77, up until that point it was all the Beano. It was the Beano and Whizzer and Chips. These are like for the other kayfabers, that's British comics, mostly coming out of Scotland, strangely enough. But yeah, we'd read Beano and the Whizzer and Chips, and Dandy was the other one.
I also read commando books, those small
Yeah. Oh
digest size
yeah.
commando
Oh my
books.
God. Yes. Yes.
I love the art of every commando book that comes out. But for some reason, I don't find the artist credit
Yep.
inside.
Yep. Those were the days. Wow,
Those
I'd
army
forgotten
books
about
were
that.
a lot. There were hundreds of those books in India.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Why would that be, do you think? I mean,
Hundreds of
other
commando
than being
books
like
came to India. Small digest size books. Yeah. We used to get them in train stalls, train station book stalls and stuff.
Were they reprinted though, or were they
not reprinted?
just imported?
It was original, direct sales.
Wow. Yeah, I remember those well. Yeah. Wow. Used to have a pretty huge collection. These things were sort of, yeah, I mean, like Jesus, they were like smaller than Giza is, weren't they? They were sort of maybe like 5-inch
Digest, size book.
Digest size, yeah, like sort of 5 by 6 inches, something like that.
Did you also collect Hulk Weekly in the UK? Hulk Weekly.
Not that one in particular. I definitely used to get the Spider-Man, the Marvel UK versions of Spider-Man, and a lot of the Avengers books, I guess. Mostly Spider-Man though. I guess that was my thing in American comics when I was, let's see, must have been like 12 maybe. So a good time to be like, even in Britain, well, in Britain in particular, as a comics reader, I think it was a really good time because you did have like all the traditional things like the Beano. There's real sort of really good kids comics, really good and like really anarchic kids comics. And then you did get a lot of stuff from Marvel as well, the Marvel UK stuff, the reprints. And then 2000 AD started. There's 2000 AD and Action
Heavy metal.
as well. And heavy metal, yeah.
Did heavy metal come from France to UK first, or did it go from France to US then to UK?
Maybe someone else could answer that.
I don't know. Because it was like, metal hurlant whenever.
Yes. Yeah.
Metal hurlant.
Hurlant. Yeah. When
yeah, I think it probably came to America like before it came like directly to the UK, but I think I know we used to get like a lot of the original like the actual French versions rather than a translated version. So we sort of bypassed the US translating it, I guess, in that way.
Hopefully, I'll make it to UK by this September for my master's degree in illustration at University for the Creative Arts. Yeah, in Farnham, UCA.
In Farnham, nice.
Yeah, MA illustration.
And when are you starting that?
September 18, 2023.
Right. Okay. Well,
hopefully I get to see you over.
We'll run into you at a show over there because I haven't done any of the UK shows in a long time. Looking forward to getting back. So maybe you'll introduce yourself.
Definitely. Or like, which Comic Con over there is the biggest one? Is it Thought Bubble?
I think Thought Bubble is probably the biggest. Yeah. Or if not the biggest, it's the most well-renowned. It's a really cool show that really sort of like embraces the indie side. But also there's I've heard good things about the Lakes show as well, which is up in like the northwest of England, the Lake District. Which is
while I'll be at the university. Oh, you go on. You're saying something?
I was just going to say that was sort of one of my old stomping grounds, the Lake District. When I when I was about 12 or 13, my family moved from that area down to the south. So we used to go up to the Lake District a lot. I know the places where they hold that show, and I'd love to see it again.
I would like to sell my designs and stuff while I'll be at the university through Thought Bubble or any of these conventions. That's actually my dream.
That seems like a very good possible dream to make happen.
How did you start to like sell your prints while you were starting out in comics?
Well, when we were starting out,
like your beginning before.
The real beginning was printing stuff up ourselves and just like selling it locally, because there was like at the time there's like no way of doing anything else really. You couldn't like without like the internet that we have now. And this is like fantastic. This is like, I mean, where are you?
Where am I right now?
Yeah, where are you right now? Yeah.
I'm in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like fantastic that we can like all sort of like we're all just like sat here drawing. It's fantastic. Isn't that amazing?
Is anybody actually drinking? I thought I was going to be the only sober one.
It's a little early for us.
Oh yeah.
I kind of changed the name after that because I was like, I don't want anyone to think that they either have to be drawing or have to be drawing.
I was going to show up plastered. I don't drink. I don't really drink. So.
All right, guys, kayfabers, I have a challenge for you.
Oh yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah, we don't. I need a T-shirt for Jess here. She needs a logo on her T-shirt. This is she is
Ready.
seen.
Portishead.
Well, no, it's not going to work.
Power.
Portishead isn't going to work.
Not a known logo, you mean?
Well, no. Gnome logo is fine. But the thing is, we were talking about this. I was talking about this with Will. I should give a big shout out to Will, the writer. Will Potter wrote Geezer, and it's fantastic. So we were talking the other day, and I was asking him if it was true that, you know, when you see bands around, and if they're wearing a T-shirt, they're not going to be wearing a T-shirt of any of their like contemporaries because they don't want to like give anything away. It's like they're too cool to like any of their contemporaries. So sort of whenever you see like someone in a band wearing a T-shirt, it's going to be something from like, you know, like something from their youth or something. Well, hair in my mouth, or something like really, really weird and obscure, or like, you know, maybe she's like wearing the logo of drum maker company people or something like that. So in the past, let's see what she's in the rest of the book. In the rest of it, I did have her. This is pretty cool, actually. I shouldn't say that, should I? I hope she would say anything. My own stuff isn't cool. So, it's pretty cool at the time. Yeah, down there.
So you have pages like. So you also have pages like these commercial break pages, like this page is only reserved for advertisement.
Well, you know what? Like, since you bring it up, I'm going to go and like go back to that. Yeah, there are a couple of breaks in the story. This one's going to be an ad for one of the singles, but then there's another page there. And we had in the previous issue there was a break in the story as well, or like an ad break. But that was like 2 pages side by side, so it didn't interrupt the flow of the rest of the book, if you see what I mean. But here, the ad pages came in really handy because, like, I didn't want this next page here. I don't know if you can sort of see what I'm pointing to here. This page here. This is page what? Page 16. No, 18. So this is like a break in the scene, but they're similar scenes. So it was, rather than have this page start out up here. Oh, now it's opening the page. So rather than having that page come in here, where the commercial break page is, that would have been confusing. And also, it's a much better layout, sort of, with these pages following as they are, as a spread, rather than as following pages, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So twice in the story, there's a single page ad here, and they're both sort of disguising sort of a scene break. You see what I mean? I'm disguising a sort of this is me wangling my way around making this page needed to be a right hand page because the page following it is a reveal. So if we add a commercial break page there. So anyway, yes, we were going to go back to the t-shirt, Jess's t-shirt, which yeah, I was on this page. It did get drawn in here. This was actually, you know, the band Television.
Mm-hmm.
Like a few weeks ago, the singer Tom Verlaine died. So on that day, yeah, Jess got a Television T-shirt, which again is like it would be a real band that she actually liked, but it's something from maybe sort of 8 or 10 years before what we see here. So she's allowed to wear that T-shirt. So yeah, so we're looking for a T-shirt. We're in 83, I'm pretty sure, or 84. 83. I'm not sure now.
How many pages is this comic? How many pages is this comic?
This one, this is, I think we're 27 pages, but that includes the two ad breaks, the 2 commercial break pages. So 25 page story within a 40-page book.
And this is issue number 2. Which issue number is it?
It is issue number 2, and we are aiming for 5 issues in the end.
I would one day buy the trade paperback of the Geezer collection.
I'm looking forward to you buying that. I'm looking forward to making it and having you buy it.
Talking
because getting your books in UAE, it's not possible because I don't find any of the books here.
Well, yeah, that is a shame, but you're going to be in the UK soon.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
You'll be able to. Yeah, Will the writer actually sells them in the UK from his own supply, so it sort of cuts out on the enormous shipping fees. All right, so we are going to go.
Do you ever go to a college to give a guest lecture to students about illustration?
I haven't. I do know actually. So there was somebody asked me about that when we were at the Los Angeles show last year, and I didn't get back to them. And I know I should, but I don't know if I'm gonna be right for that kind of thing. I don't know. It might work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this would work very well as a teaching tool.
More about rock and roll lifestyle.
All right, I'm going to go in here.
What about Talking Heads? Sure, for her.
Talking Heads? Yeah. I mean, it would have to be an early Talking Heads, although.
Yeah, I went and.
Yeah, like particularly at that time and place as well. She wouldn't be wearing a Talking Heads t-shirt.
Yeah, it would be
like she's taking her friend to see sort of CBGBs. So I don't think she'd be wearing something like British.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How about the doors? The doors. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
It's not a good idea because actually Jess didn't like the Doors. Jess doesn't like the Doors. It's just not one of her bands. Sorry.
The Police. The Police.
The Police.
Yeah, the Police.
No, sorry.
I think that's not
going to work for her either.
Oh
But I mean,
man.
after I know, I'm sorry, but after having drawn her for 2 issues, I feel I know her now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
What
Yeah.
kind of music does she like then?
well, let's see. Well, she's like the first time we see her, she's in a punk band.
Mhm.
She's drumming in a punk band called the Pips.
Mm.
So and that's when Martin first meets her, and he's like sort of completely blown away by this vision of attitude, just like all attitude. So you have to sort of extrapolate from that to figure out what music she's into.
Do you ever like on books like these need to get certain things cleared, like a sample, like in music? You know what I mean?
We would if we had to. I don't think we've come up against anything where that would be problematic so far. I mean, that only sort of
Okay.
really happens if you start using lyrics. You can run into trouble.
Right, it's publishing.
Yeah, and we don't have a lot of sort of famous people hanging around. There's a little bit of that, but we don't use too much of it.
What about like likenesses? Like, you know how like they
Yeah,
did
like
Sam
yeah.
Jackson on the Ultimates, or like Eminem on Wanted, you know, like if it's small
Well,
scale, it's not a big
yeah,
deal.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do a little bit of that, but it's not like we have like members of other bands, members of Blur appear in the book, but they're sort of like walking by in the background. Like they might
Right.
get a sort of like one line or something, but it's not like the book's about them. So
Well, and if it's like
I think we're
satire or whatever too, I think it's
yeah,
fair game, right?
yeah,
Fair
yeah,
use.
exactly, yeah. It's just that you can't use song lyrics.
Okay.
But luckily, I mean, we have Will on our side, who has written some of the most hilarious and perfectly sort of fitting song lyrics for Giza. Anyway,
Oh, perfect.
yeah. I don't know where I'm going.
would
So
really-
for the shirt, will you put Megadeth? Megadeth.
Megadeth.
We're out yet either.
Yeah.
Wow. That's yeah, it's a possibility. Yes. How long have Megadeth been around, though?
Says they were active 83 to 2002.
Really? Okay.
It's
All
like, do you want to
right.
go obscure, or do you want to like kind of
Obscure is. Are you saying Megadeth is not obscure enough, or
right?
too
Well,
obscure?
I mean, at least to me, my brother grew up listening to Megadeth, so I was like,
Right.
Yeah, Megadeth in the 80s was huge.
Yeah.
Over
and
here.
the shirt Beavis and Butthead, one of them wears. So
Sure. Okay.
A great album in the 80s here in the States was Metallica Ride the Lightning
right.
at the same time.
Megadeth is quite a good idea, or you can put Enigma.
Would she wear any type of like early grunge? Or no, it's too early or too late.
Well, I mean, the whole grunge thing is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really sort of.
It's like 90s, 80s.
It's sort of like the reason when they go to America. Well, this is all like based on sort of really the time when Blur came to America to tour, and they had a disastrous tour, and they hated it, and they I think the story is like they came back on the day that Nevermind was released, and they were just like, it just sort of turned them around. It sort of like galvanized and sort of defined what Blur were to become, because as a reaction against what they'd seen in America.
So no Green River, no Mudhoney.
Probably not for Jess. Although,
Not
like,
for her.
there is let's see, where is it? There's one of the other scenes here. What's that now?
You know, I know that one thing when I was touring with bands, the t-shirts they wore a lot of times were the venues from previous days because they didn't want to do laundry, and so they would get the free shirt from the venue.
Yeah. So here the this is.
I mean, this is kind of popular to not they weren't. I don't know how popular they were back in the day, but nowadays, like a lot of folks wear like Smiths
Yeah.
stuff.
See, down
that might
here,
be
this is Benny. Benny
Oh,
is the A&R guy who's
Pearl
wearing.
Jam.
He's wearing a Pearl Jam t-shirt,
yeah.
which is like entirely because if you worked in a record company in London at that time, you would have Pearl Jam t-shirts coming out of your ears, and you'd have Tad t-shirts, and you'd have like Smashing Pumpkins t-shirts, and like just like anything, like all just like from the record company. So that's why he's wearing a Pearl Jam t-shirt. He's probably never even heard Pearl Jam. But,
Well, that happens.
Yep.
Because everyone wore the shirt.
Yeah, I was. It actually reminded me of when we were working at Deadline magazine. There were certain record companies that would always advertise with us, and so we'd always have like tons of free stuff from them, and they'd be trying to get their bands in there, which is like, and so I brought like Smashing Pumpkins was because I had like a shitload of like Smashing Pumpkins CDs because they'd sent me them because they wanted Smashing Pumpkins on the front of Deadline. So I drew Smashing Pumpkins and came back with like a shitload of CDs. And so there were like certain bands that were really trying to break then. And there was like, so you'd have like Jesus Jones was on the cover, and yeah, basically anyone who was on the cover of Deadline basically sort of bought their appearance with CDs and stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
Was Eurythmics part of your collection? Eurythmics, Annie Lennox. Annie Lennox.
Not for me particularly, but yeah, that was around at like, well, that was a few years previous, wasn't it?
And Cranberries.
Yes, yeah.
When you drew the Smashing Pumpkins, Philip, was it a giant pumpkin with Billy on
There
top?
was a giant pumpkin with people crawling out of it. Yes, you've seen it, haven't you?
Yeah, I just Googled it.
Yeah, those were great times. That like would just be, yeah.
But you were saying she the character would be wearing something like maybe 10 years before.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the 70s.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to do some research.
Me too. I was even trying to look at like what bands were like playing at CBGB's then, but then,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like,
that,
what about like
would
the
they be
Stooges or the MC5?
Would they be from NYC?
That's a good one.
Pardon? What?
Would the band be from New York?
Like the band on the T-shirt, probably not. No. I think sort of like because she knows that they're going to check out CBGB's. That's their like one little bit of touristy in New York. So she's
be from across the
probably not going to be wearing sort of anything sort of that was related to that era as well. That would be too touristy. That'd be like
so no New York Dolls.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So something from like the UK then or something.
Yeah, maybe, but I like the MC5 thing. It's good, especially because it's like nice and graphic as well. And
yeah,
simple. Yeah, and they have a pretty sick logo.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I might just go for that.
Nice.
There will be other T-shirts,
Anthony.
There will be other T-shirts. Let me. I'm gonna have to sort of pull up do a quick bit of interneting.
Anthony, you're putting a book out soon, aren't you?
Nice.
For Sunny?
I
What'd
got
you
a bunch
post
of
today
stuff
about
coming out.
a mad book?
Yeah, there's this.
Yeah, that's sick. I love
Yeah,
that.
I love it.
He's a Wolverton
It's
riff.
good.
Apparently, I'm like in the double spread, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like this free comic book day thing.
Oh, sweet. So that's not something you put out. That's just something that you happen to be.
This guy Cameron with Clusterfucks Comics is putting it out. So
Nice, dude.
he's a cool guy.
I don't know who this is, but what about GBH?
GBH was like a.
Oh,
I don't know. I think they might have been a bit dodgy. Actually, they might have. I might be thinking of somebody else, but I think they might have been like a bit of a right wing sort of.
Oh, really? Knife
yeah.
edge.
Yeah, sort of skinhead, but not in a good way. All right, this is gonna be.
They were big on atheism, nihilism, and humor.
Is that right?
That's what it says.
It like I don't know. Eli's the wiki guy now.
Are you talking about GBH?
Yeah, I looked him up. I hadn't heard of him.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like my brother would recommend someone that's on the right, but
I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
The Velvets.
So you're not like copy pasting the entire image into the shirt?
No. I tend to sort of like I like to sort of redraw, just because I feel like it's I feel like the art sort of like it needs to hold together. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say like I just want it all to look drawn, you know, which is why it's sort of like even when we go back to there's I don't know how I'm going to find it now, but there was. I'm going to open this. Let's see.
On like the photo reference pages.
Yeah, not. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I guess that is what I was. Can't find it now.
Is that a Wacom Cintiq that you're using? Because I use a Mobile Studio Pro 16.
It's actually a I've lost what I was looking for now. Sorry, I'll be right. There it is. Yes. It's not a Wacom. No, it's a what's the brand? It's XP Pen.
XP Pen, okay.
Yes. So it's a much cheaper version of the same. Yeah, I did have a Wacom for a while, and sort of it sort of got technologically outmoded. Sort of like after a while, the sort of like it's the resolution on it was lacking. Not because it failed itself, but because computers moved on, and the old resolution wasn't good enough anymore. So
When was the last time you did a traditionally done comic and you shifted to digital?
Oh shit.
As far as actual full comics,
yeah, traditionally.
The last one, well, before Eve Stranger was the last long form thing I did. and that was all digital as well. So before that, so it's whatever it was, we're looking at sort of like maybe 2015 or so. So maybe that Deadpool stuff, those few Deadpool stories, or there was some Doctor Who stuff that I did for. Was that for IDW? I think so.
Yeah, I forgot. Lee in the comments asked also, Philip, are you 100% digital now? Do you still work traditionally at all? And I guess
I work traditionally like on sort of like small things like the like we've been doing the album covers, you know, that we had for as part of the rewards for the geezer. And so these are like the Inktober things that I've been doing for years and years.
Oh yeah, I've seen them in Instagram. Yeah, I've seen them in Instagram.
So those are the only things I've been doing sort of really with pen and paper for a while.
do you think if you like opened up commissions, you would do those on paper as well?
Yeah.
Kind of have to, I guess, these days.
Eli trying to get that original art.
I have one of those, the mini things.
Yeah, you bought it from LA Con. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, just like you.
Yes. Which one did you get? What was that?
I got a astronaut girl.
Right. Always popular. All right, that's a completely messy MC5 logo, but it's
that looks sick though.
It's there if you know what you're looking at.
Anthony with the win, dude. Nice. I mean, not the win, but with the, I guess, win. Yeah, the win.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. He's gonna kick out the jams tonight.
All right, that'll do.
You ever think of making collectibles out of your characters and your books?
I would I'd love to do that. If anyone listening has a reliable way of doing that and making a little bit of money off of it would be nice. Yeah, I would be open to that. Yeah, I think what the world needs is a set of geezer action figures, really.
There actually is a guy, I forget his name. One of us knows. I don't know if we want to. I forget. He does like, is it 3D printing?
Of figs or something?
Or Kevin, what was it?
Wait, what are you talking about?
The figure guy.
A lot. Because the Ink and Drink group I'm with, a lot of them are sculptors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there's Erwin. There's always Erwin. He does sculpting, but he kind of does like, he kind of bashes figures rather than like really make final figures. But I know a ton of guys. I mean, I'm working with a couple of them too. Yeah, there's a lot there in LA because they have Designer Con. It's like most of the toy, one of the big toy designer toy conventions. And so,
right.
Andrew McLean, he does toys too. Well, I think he outsources his toys.
There's a lot of options. Just once you start looking, then you start to they reveal themselves, kind of like the group. You know, I didn't know this was going on until one day.
They pretty much work like, you know, you would the way you would hire artists. They sculpt something for you, and then you send it to, if you want to print or manufacture it, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I want to be at like the complete other end of that scale, though. I want to sort of like just skip all that stuff and just be able to go into Target and pull them off the shelf.
I know.
Do that. I don't mind putting in a bit of work, but I want them to be available to everybody. I don't want just like a one-off just for myself.
Yeah.
Right.
The most of it they'll ask for is just the character turns. That's it, for them to convert it to 3D. But that's pretty much you would do, and everything else is the sculptor.
Yeah, I think that we still know like a few of the people who were at DC doing stuff like that in the toy department.
Mostly now it's easy because all the 3D printers are so accessible and pretty cheap too. So you can make prototypes left and right.
What up, y'all?
Oh, what up, Adam?
I know that voice.
Hi, Adam.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Yeah, good. Awesome.
Do you ever say your name so deep to people when you introduce yourself? I'm Adam. Just make it,
I am Adam.
With a maniacal laughter in the background.
I know.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
It's so good. Big fan of your voice, Adam.
Sound like the sheriff of Nottingham.
That's funny.
You did pursue voice acting, right? You said?
Yeah, now and then I'll do some voice acting. I mean, I got to do it all the time for ADR, just for temp stuff. So, but I really like to get into it. It's really fun, and I like to try and like imitate the actors, which is really funny because I've worked on some really like goofy shows in the past, and it can be really funny. Like one of my favorites was when I was working on Once Upon a Time. One of the characters was Rumpelstiltskin, and he had this really ridiculous voice, and it was super fun to do temp ADR for him. So,
Can you do the voice?
I don't know if I really want to.
You could probably
really ridiculous.
You could probably do like Brad Garrett or something too.
Oh my gosh, man! I've had to do so many different accents and so many different just like because you want it to like match as close as possible for at least the like emotion of it, because that's what sort of like gives the actor an idea of sort of how to do it when they go to record it later, because it's way after the fact when they come in to do that stuff. Sometimes it can be like a year or more later. So you barking at?
Right. It was crazy.
Yesterday,
Go ahead, Abu.
Oh yeah, Al Jeffrey passed away yesterday, and the entire Mad community. Yeah.
Heard him. Yeah.
102
years.
Yeah, for a cartoonist, that's insane.
Was he doing? Was he working all the way up to then?
Don't live long.
Yes.
Right?
He had been working for that long.
Wow.
He got a Guinness World Record also for the longest, comic book.
Oh right, I saw that. Yeah.
I've always liked that photo of Jalefe and oh shoot, what's his name? They first started Mad when they're in high school.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
kids. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a sweet
Oh
photo.
yeah, that one's been
That
going
was-
around, man. I love
I
that
know.
picture.
It's a sweet. It's
That
like
was Bill
yeah,
Elder,
that's Mad.
isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
so
there you go.
awesome. Yeah.
When they're like 13 years old.
I know. It's
So
amazing.
great.
It's crazy to have a career that's long enough that you're able to see like the invention of like the magazine, not the invention of the magazine, sure, but like the popularization of, you know, magazines, color, even
Pyramids,
the
Just
pyramid.
being freelance for 50 plus
hieroglyphs.
years. Like I can't even imagine being freelance for 50 plus years. I've been freelance for almost 20 years and I want to throw my computer out the window some days. You know, like I can't even imagine having to be freelance for 50 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What was his record? 71 or 2 years or something?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He
like
worked
50
from I think it was 2009 that they stopped doing new strips. So from 53 to 2009. So 56 years.
Damn.
I thought they did new strips later than that. I thought they only
Maybe it was 2019 that they, or
For Mad?
2019.
Yeah, it was 19. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
they
So then that
just
would be
stopped like the other
66
year.
years of freelancing. That's fucking insane, bro.
Philip, do you want to work for that long?
I think after, I don't know, I think if I worked at like Mad Magazine or like anywhere like that for that long,
Yeah.
I'd want to own the company at the end of it. I wouldn't want to be freelance.
like Snoop Dogg.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
like instead of like just sort of reprinting his old work, they should just said like you should just have the company. Okay, fair enough. You've worked
Just
here longer
imagine
than
how
any
many
of us.
people you see come and go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody. Like, because he was there working with like Will Elder and Harvey
Yes.
Kurtzman from the beginning
Yes.
Yeah.
to seeing like,
I think they said he came on like
Mark Palm.
yeah, Mark Palm. That's exactly
There
what I
you
was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like Evan Dorkin was in. Yes, I spent the $20 to get the 6-month Mad subscription. It's worth it. But like they had like Evan Dorkin in the back, this time, and
Yeah.
even people like that, like Mahfood published in there.
I mean, when I was like 11, 12, 13, that was like my favorite fucking thing, man. Ever.
They had them stocked at the library. We used to go and look at them after school.
That's
Yeah, man. My friend's older brother was like 17 and he handed off his collection to us. And it was like, this is the shit.
Yeah.
Even my dad used to have a whole bunch of old, like Mad from the 50s. He had a huge collection of all the little digests as well. Which is where
Love that.
so I mean that's where I first came across like most of those guys, and like sort of Will Elder was like just fantastic, and
they're never far away.
Wally Wood.
Got him right there.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And it's interesting how they do the reprints these days. It's not like they're just printing modern stuff. They print like stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s, all the way through now. It's all still, worth it.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff I mean, if you go back and watch, you know, like the pop culture stuff that they were lampooning, it's all like, it's still funny, you know, silly, goofy.
And a lot of it is still stuff that's in the like in pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was just there in New York, I went to CBGB, like we're seeing drawn here, and it's now a John Varvatos store, but they still have like the awning, and there's like still the awning, and it looks like next to it someone put like a small white awning that looks like the CBGB awning, and they spray painted like an arrow with like a question mark and an exclamation.
Yeah.
Being like, yo,
I don't imagine that ever staying clean or as one thing for a while.
No.
People just throw up all, you know, not throw up, but you know, throw up like
tags and stuff.
their tags just constantly, I bet.
That's what I need to be putting some tags in here.
Oh, there you go.
I'll come to that in a minute then. Just so you know, I haven't missed anything. Got the tags.
Should put scene on there or something non sequitur.
And right around the corner from that is like Joey Ramone Place now too.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's crazy.
All right.
How many of y'all been to New York?
I have.
I only dream about it.
You dream about it?
Yeah, I want to make it to New York.
Yeah.
It is pretty awesome. There is no doubt.
I've got like real bad anxiety. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but that's my only excuse.
It's not as bad.
It's worth it, dude, for sure.
So my brother's out there and he's like living the life, and like I mean, if I'm going to, it's got to be while he's there, however long he's gonna be there.
Whereabouts is he?
Somewhere between Brooklyn and Queens, I think. He moved recently. I'm not sure, but I need to go give anxiety to Sam J. Royale too. he gets bad anxiety about. Never mind.
Well, as long as you don't go into like Times Square or something, it's not going to be
right.
Super crazy. Which like
we'd probably have to go to like what's out there, like the Laugh Factory or the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah, one of those comedy spots.
Comedy Cellar for sure, or something like that.
Have you been to US at all, Abu?
I only dream about it. One day I want to, I grew up watching How I Met Your Mother, all those American stuff, American sitcoms, Friends, the
nothing like that.
American stuff. So I want to make it over there because I've heard songs that say, "You come to US, your life, American dream." Yeah, the American dream.
It's totally, everything is like that every day.
Exactly.
Nah, man.
Just know that it's like it's not like monolithic. It's just everything is kind of different everywhere you go. It's the same with the people.
Definitely. We're required to eat cheeseburgers here too, so you got to do that.
You gotta eat cheeseburgers. You gotta get
hot dogs.
Yeah.
Hot
If
dogs.
you
that
don't, you get
can.
arrested, man.
Be careful though. Yeah, but
Make excuses just to arrest you.
yeah,
No cheeseburgers today? Okay.
you don't even need to eat all that stuff to get arrested out here.
And Katz's Deli delicatessen,
Go
those
the
fancy meat sandwiches.
bodegas out in NYC, out in Brooklyn.
I'll have what she's having. That's at Katz's.
Yeah.
I have a very crazy dream, but I don't know if I'll fulfill it or not. Win an Oscar for an animated short.
Oh,
Yeah,
never know.
Yep. Never know till you try.
exactly.
And try again. Like you just can't ever quit, You might end up to the left or to the right, but as long as you keep on going for the goal, that'll be your story, that'll be your journey.
I agree. But I want to settle down in Japan because
Ooh.
Japan is quite peaceful, and the place for crazy people. Crazy stuff keeps happening in Japan. I want to be part of the craziness.
Have you been out there?
No, I've never been to any other country besides Gulf, Middle East. I am in the Middle East. Yeah. I've been to Qatar. I stayed in Qatar for like 14 years. Then from Qatar to Kuwait. Kuwait, I guess 4 years. I've been jumping around Middle East.
Hey, Philip.
Yeah.
I was wondering, because I know you did, like I mentioned earlier, you did Kill Your Boyfriend, and then you came back later on to do that last volume of The Invisibles. Was there like a big difference in the scripting between the two? Like, was there because I mean, obviously you both had evolved at that point,
Yeah. Actually, thinking about it, yeah, it'd be hard to sort of figure out what was.
But it was definitely a level up, though, right?
There's a big difference anyway between something like Kill Your Boyfriend and The Invisibles, just because of the format, just because it's one's an ongoing and one's a one-off. So yeah, I think that probably there was a lot more of Grant's. In a way, there's a lot more of Grant's creativity in a sort of one-off script like Kill Your Boyfriend, even though there's so much more craziness going on in The Invisibles. It's like sort of when he's writing it, I guess, like when you're writing an ongoing, I guess that's like a given that it's just going to keep being crazy. But when you're doing a one-off, you sort of like had to write a lot of the crazy into it.
Yeah, you start crazy
to make sure it was there.
That one's a lot of fun. People don't talk about that one as much, but I love that one. That's so fun.
Yeah, that's it's a great book, and it does keep coming back to to both Haunt and The Maze.
And Vimanarama. I keep reading the miniseries, over and over. Vimanarama.
Thank you.
I play some, British Indian pop music at the background. Yeah, because I get the feel while I read the book Vimanarama. So I get the British Indian pop fusion playing in the background.
Yeah, what?
Have you heard of Jay Sean?
Yes.
Yes. Jay Sean's music and Rishi Rich and Jagiti, all the Punjabi people living in Britain.
Oh my God. Rishi Rich?
Yeah, Rishi Rich. You might have heard of them. They were quite popular during the
you know what?
2000s.
I think somebody must have used that as an insult to Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, at some point recently. That's what I must have heard it there. That's why it like stuck in my head like that. Because he's like the rich boy Prime Minister.
Rishi Sunak, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody must have called him Rishi Rich in the past.
The entire mini-series that you did, it was just the vibe, of the 2000s. Just felt the vibe of the 2000s and British Indian music, British Indian culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also reminds me of that show called Citizen Khan in BBC or ITV. I forgot.
I don't know that.
All right, guys, we're gonna do maybe about 10 or so more minutes. So get your questions in if you'd like.
I thought we were going to finish this book.
Finish the whole book? Okay.
All 25 pages.
So we'll stay on for the next couple days.
Couple of days, that'd be nice.
I can't wait to see this book released. The entire finished product.
I'm. Thank you. I really hope I really hope a lot of people feel like that, because I'm really having a really good time with it. Yeah.
Abu, have you checked out issue 1 from their website?
I did check out, but the ordering it is quite a hassle anyway. I can't order it because there's some courier charges, a lot of they take a lot of tax and stuff.
Yeah.
For the digital copy, even.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Even just a single copy, they'll charge you more. You import tax.
Dang.
So I don't know how to get it. I don't have the money because they charge a lot in import.
Like I said, when you get to England, you'll be able to get a copy very easily.
How much is one issue though? How much do you charge?
I think on the let's see. Well, they're $10. Like $10. At least initially, yeah. So yeah. So that, and that's before postage. So like, and I know postage is just horrible these days. So that's why I'm saying, like if you can do the digital, that's like I like the digital version of this. I like being able to sort of like zoom in and sort of.
I've always liked the square bound, like the way you guys did Philip on the kind of like the vinyl shape to them. Yeah, it's right here.
I did try to contact you on Instagram because I did a post, about my meeting with you. It was exciting.
Oh yeah.
I did try contacting you in Instagram.
I am not good at reading all the messages on Instagram or anywhere, in fact. So I apologize for that. I'll have to have a look for it later.
It's Abu Aman 97. I'll just write it in the chat.
Okay. I'll have a look later and I'll try and get back to you.
Yeah. Do follow me back. It would be an honor.
Okay.
Because I'll be posting my work and my comic book work later after it gets published in July.
Philip, I wanted to ask you about the vehicle stuff. I see that you have a photo there and you ink it on top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you always just use photos, or you also use like 3D models and stuff too? Or because like I saw in the first issue, you have really complex angles with these cars, like in the little commercial thing in the beginning or a music video in the first issue.
Yes.
Taxi,
Yeah.
you have different angles on these taxis. So how do you find them? Do you just like look up online, and do you make it work with your perspective, or?
Good question.
That one is more,
Good question.
Yeah, this one's a bit more simple because it's flat, right? But then you have like different angles.
This one I like managed to like find a sort of fairly decent angle for that, and it's just like sort of like shoots through the scene anyway. So there's that. But yes, on the when there are like a whole bunch of scenes with the tour van.
Yeah.
So in that case, yeah, I used a 3D model.
Gotcha.
In the SketchUp program, just kind of eyeballing it, just like rotating it around and kind of eyeballing it, and that's like sort of it's kind of fairly close to the angle I'm after. So yeah, that comes in handy sort of for things like that when it does appear in a few scenes. Yeah, it's here as well, but this one's hand drawn.
I see. So do you go back and forth to hand drawing the vehicles and then going, or do you just hand draw it then and then you put in the models on top later?
Yes. Usually, like if it's something that appears a few times like that, it's good to have a model. But yeah, for like cars in the background. And cars are like hands. Like some days I can just do hands, no problem, and some days it's like it's like I've never seen a hand before.
Yeah.
So it's the same with cars. Sometimes they come out like looking like do you know there's the children's TV show called Peppa Pig.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I do.
And Daddy Pig drives a red car that's just kind of a blob. It's kind of, yeah.
As long as it has wheels.
It's a car. It's got wheels. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sometimes they come out looking like that, and other times they're I'll say fairly decent. But, yeah.
Do you go out in the city and take some photographs and come back for take photographs for reference?
Not sort of. Not really. Like if I have something in this story, like I'll go out and find something. Probably not, but I'm sort of like constantly sort of like you constantly have your eyes open and just sort of like take pictures of anything that's interesting because it comes in handy for reference later. But I rarely sort of go out looking for reference. I think actually, unless it's there's another example. Whether when you're doing guitars and drum kits, then I've got a whole bunch of photos of drum kits and all the little joints and all the sort of like where all the sort of bits connect together and everything. That is the new bane of the artist's existence. It used to be horses. Now it's drum kits.
Drum kit. So cylinders.
Yeah, lots of cylinders. Yeah, but it's not just cylinders. It's like how they all fit together. It's like
the spacing and everything.
Yeah. But I like always for things like that. It's important to get it right.
Yeah, they're very unforgiving once you get them wrong because you can really tell.
Yeah. I shouldn't be looking at this because it's probably all wrong. I'm going to move on to something else that you can't say is wrong. But see, so this like with these the connections and the cogs and the nuts and everything was all you go out and photograph that.
Yeah, that's a pretty great.
My son is a drummer, so it's lucky he has most of a drum kit in the house.
Could you show the middle panel? Could you show the middle panel? I want to see the middle panel with the.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That
What's that? I think you dropped out.
Yeah.
That middle panel, you had a good hand day.
I don't know.
You said it's not good. Oh my god!
Look at my own work. this one my son modeled for as well.
That's great.
It was important to get the hands right there. But yeah, I had a couple of good hand days.
I noticed that you ink kind of everywhere in your book. Is that just one way for you to avoid getting bored at it, or just stay focused? Or...
It was for this in particular. Like, you know, because we've got a month on the Kickstarter, it was sort of important to get some of the big sort of like the impressive scenes done, so that we could sort of, you know, get some eyeballs on them and get people back in the book. So that's why we, you know, there are 2 pages sort of like in the middle of the book here that are just sort of like 2 9-panel pages where it's like, so they're moving from one city to the next. These are like sort of like the spread of sort of like the adventures on the road, sort of compressed into 18 panels.
So typically you would just work page by page then?
Still no.
Still no?
I'd still sort of like flip back and forth, really. Some days you just like, you just can't handle the tough stuff, so you have to start with something simple.
So it's nice to keep moving forward instead of just pausing and, you know, calling it for just one page.
Yeah. So far we've got just this one page is actually a finished page now, except for the lettering. Although we do have that somewhere. Yeah, shit. There's a ton of stuff still to do, isn't there? Oh well. So it goes.
I just want to say your work is fantastic. I'm really enjoying listening to you and checking out your methods.
Thank you very much.
I'm really enjoying it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for letting us ask questions.
We should do this again.
That's great hearing all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have like a timetable that you're looking to for completion of the book or delivery or?
Well, now that let's see.
Since
I'm sure Shelley's talked about it. But I'm just sort of like until she tells me to sort of get a move on. I like the first few weeks are always going to be sort of like a little bit at my own pace, and then, you know, once things start to really start to look like they're getting finished, that's when you sort of start moving a bit faster and tackle some of the tough stuff.
Is Shelley your editor of this book?
She is, yes, yeah. Although, like, mostly it's I mean, she edited the scripts like literally like 2 years ago, and then so as far as the artwork goes, I guess we do very little editing of the artwork, because once it's written, I think she just likes to just let me, you know, just go crazy on it and do my own thing.
I guess that brings up a question, because you know, you are with an editor, and for me, what I always ask my partner for advice, or I like tell her like, oh, can you look at this drawing? So do you when you always make something like an art or you write stories, do you always go to Shelley right away, or do you have other people? It depends on what Shelley wants to, like, oh, does she wants to be always involved with your work, or how does that dynamic work between you guys?
Oh man. You know, it's kind of tough to say, just because, you know, we just do it. We just sort of like just sort of make it work, and it's like, you know, some days it's working and some days it's not, and we just do it. I guess, I mean, Shelley's always sort of like the first one who sees any of my work.
Mhm.
So, yeah. But do I bring it to her to be edited? I'd like to be edited. I probably just like bring it to her for like a seal of approval rather than a like, what's wrong with this?
Yeah.
That's always like the problem. Like you bring something and show something and like that you're really proud of, and they say, well, no, you shouldn't have done this and you should have done that.
You put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? We're rounding out our second hour here.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Oh boy, we are, aren't we?
Time flies when you draw.
It really does, man. So anyone have any other questions, final questions?
This video will be in YouTube or you're in Facebook? Like
It's
the
written to
recorded.
Facebook, but I will put it up on YouTube or yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it will live in the group as well as on my YouTube.
Cool. Awesome. I subscribe, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Eli, I have a question for you.
You have a question for me?
Yeah. How many copies of Ghost Agents do you have left?
I have at least 2 boxes, so I still have some.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you'll have some next month.
Yeah, Heroes.
No, just like stocked if I order.
Yeah, yeah, man.
I'm gonna do a YouTube review on it, and
Nice.
I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Oh, well,
just for Ghost Agents, I'm gonna
start a YouTube.
I'm gonna just critique it. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I want to check it out. I haven't checked out any of them, so
yeah, man, you should.
I never have the funds, so.
Well, hit me up. I'm happy to work with you if you want me to just send you
Okay.
one and you can get me paid whenever.
Oh, word. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably just hit you up like the beginning of the month.
All right, dude.
Thanks.
I need to get some of them.
You need one too, Mac?
Yeah, absolutely. Want to check them out.
All right. Everyone needs to on Saturday we're having a release party for this Death of Superman book that we did.
Oh, right.
You guys did. Mac did.
Y'all
some
did that really sneaky.
major work in that.
That looks fantastic. Yeah.
I had no idea that was being made
Yeah,
until like yesterday.
Darden did most of it. Did most of the editing. Sorry, I mean most of the editing and organizational. I mean, he did all of it, I guess. And a lot of people did some insane art, just really amazing art. And now we're gonna have a little party on Saturday and zoom it in the group.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah. How long between the actual work and the book being available in print does that?
I mean, this one specifically, I think Mark really tried to just do it fast.
Mm-hmm.
And, the party on Saturday is like to start the pre-order. So he's gonna move to print pretty much ASAP. So,
but how long ago was the actual?
I think like a month or two. Oh, Mac, what do you think?
Right.
Yeah, we started early in the year.
Yeah.
Right.
As soon as we that video came out, calling for a Death of Superman, I started drawing pictures and like,
Yeah, you and Ben Perkins were going back and forth with some
very fun.
Okay.
And we took a look at the PDF. Sorry, I guess I drank too much beer. But yeah, man, it looks pretty good.
It looks insane. Yeah, y'all did some great stuff.
Yeah, but check it out if you can. Come to the event, and man, I ordered mine. I ordered 4 coffees.
Oh yeah.
What time is it, Eli? Saturday?
What time is it Saturday? Good call. I think I think the same time.
Like ring, like the mythology, ring mythology thing.
Yeah, let me see. Oh no, it's a little earlier. It's 3 p.m. West Coast.
Gotcha.
Wait, when is Heroes? That's next month, right?
In June.
Oh, it's June.
Yes, Father's Day weekend.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Dang. Yeah, me and Kevin are heading down there.
right.
Probably have our new book, the Cosmic Lion's new book from Adam Lemna ready.
Word.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be
God
for
willing.
Heroes? Eli?
What's that?
You gonna premiere that in Heroes? Rail
Trying to
Country?
have some ready for Heroes. Oh yeah,
Man.
Kev, we need to talk about that preview zine we were talking about too.
Yeah. Get that out. I'm almost done with it. Well, this is it. Actually, we're working on it.
Oh, that's what you're working on?
Yeah, the preview stuff. I penciled the whole sequence. I just have to ink all of them.
Oh my god, it's gonna be
Yeah.
insane. Well, sick, y'all. Another great meetup. We need to do another one of these again. Philip, if you're ever down. I mean, I hope it helps
Absolutely.
to pass some
Yeah,
time too for you.
It does. It,
Chip in
you
on
know,
a
it's,
keg.
it's good. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. The keg next time. Okay.
And if you guys haven't backed their Kickstarter yet, not that that's
No,
what this specific.
no pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually want to. I just need to look at.
Can you
where
put
we
links
are
in
now.
the chat
Yes,
so I
I'm
can
doing
check
that right
all
now.
this out? Man, I'm like totally virtual.
You know, there's
illiterate.
lots of options too. I mean, there's like just for $5 you get the PDF.
Dude, that's cool. I'd love a physical copy. I can pay for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
I would love to have some links. I just so much I don't know what's going on. I draw and work. That's about it.
Yeah, I put it in the chat there for you, Mac.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, dude. Lots of good bundles. Get yourself drawn in there if you want.
Yeah, if you really go crazy, yeah. But,
I'd have to be a crazy.
I would want to be drawn.
The craziest,
want to be drawn.
you know, in the audience.
All right, well, sweet, y'all. That's what's coming up next. Oh, also next, let's see, Wednesday, the 19th. It looks like that's the new comic book day night live, so that'll be fun. Another group project there. All right, y'all. Unless there's any other questions for Philip, don't just read more comics, be more comics.
Trying.
Thanks so much, Philip. Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming along.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
been really cool. I
having
haven't
us.
done anything like this before, so I hope you didn't just notice the mistakes I was making.
Dude, it was so cool seeing you drawing
Yeah.
Thank you.
and hearing you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Divine inspiration.
Absolutely. All you fellas, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the invite. See you next time.
Yeah, guys.
See you
Cheers,
guys.
guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Very good.
Thanks
Bye,
again
guys.
Philip, for
Bye.
doing this.